Alright folks, we're back with the CRF250L. It is late September 2013. And you know, in my last video in the description I talked about how this thing is really struggling to hold 60 miles an hour. Full throttle, 5th gear, 6th gear, I don't care what gear you're in. You cannot hold 60 miles an hour if you weigh 205 pounds or 200 pounds. And you've got some extra stuff on there. I had my Pelican case on there, but I mean, this stuff's really not that big of a deal. I was pretty frustrated. It's pretty scary, you know, when you have vehicles riding right up on you, and I'm just not used to having to struggle to hold 60 miles an hour. I'm used to having to struggle to hold it below 60 miles an hour. So, it's time for some modifications. So we'll start with the basics and set the foundation up for the 305 big bore kit, which, you know, if you watch Bullwinkle Eats Vegemite videos, you see from his 5th gear power runs that is clearly the way to go. You know, I'm not buying this, I didn't buy this bike for long range touring, so I don't really care if I don't make it to 50,000 or 100,000 miles or whatever. I just want to be able to hold 60 miles an hour. It's really all I care about. Because I know I'll be, you know, probably, no matter how great this bike is, I'm sure at some point I'll be like, okay, time to change it, especially when Honda introduces they're coming out with a CRF250L or a 450L. Then, you know, this is going on Craigslist immediately, so just a heads up. Exhaust. FMF I picked up from CRFs only for way more than I would have paid if I purchased at Biohazard Cycles. I would have saved about $80 if I had successfully not bought this, but I was screwed. That's alright, it's good company. CRFs only, very good company, specializing in CRFs. But I got the FMF Power Bomb. Got the Q4 slip-on. And I got the 13.2 sprocket, and I got the little airbox vent thingies. I'm going to put those on. And while I was at it, I went ahead and picked up works connections so I can see how hard I'm screaming the motor to try to hold 60 miles an hour. Hopefully, after these modifications, I get that, what, 3 horsepower gain, so, you know, maybe that'll help a little bit. I really don't expect a whole lot, except for sound, which, you know, I'm not going to be worried about. You know, that's going to be fine with me. I'm just setting it up for the big bore with the EJK computer. I want everything opened up before I put that stuff on. And who knows when that's going to happen. We got some health insurance issues coming up here since the wife did not get a maternity rider, and we're screwed. So I'm really kind of regretting spending this money, but this will be it for buying toys for quite a while. So anyways, I'll be back with you once all this is on, and I'll fire it up. Alright, quick update. Ah, sublime. I love hearing this song in the springtime, not in the fall. Alright, by the way, once you've got the airbox cover off and all this exhaust off, you have clear access to the spring, and I clamped it down as far as it would go, maybe actually a little farther than you're supposed to, so we'll see how that does. I think it's going to help. There's the exhaust. This is going on eBay for a bargain price for any of you out there trashing your CRF and you're not ready to upgrade yet. You need the factory exhaust. I'll probably be selling that whole system there for, I haven't figured it out yet. It's going to be cheap, I'll tell you that. It's going to be a lot cheaper than you would pay for it new. A lot cheaper. the exhaust off, and you know, the instructions say look for the gasket after cleaning. The gasket is in there, it stays in there, it doesn't come out, so don't worry if you don't see it. I cleaned some things up. I've got some high temp silicone I'm going to be working on there, so just want to let you know mainly about the spring here. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, next update. It always helps to use muffler and tailpipe sealer, especially when FMF decides to have their headers and slip-ons with no clamp. So you have to put sealer there. And it looks clean though. I mean, it looks good. I fired it up last night. Whew, man, it sounds good. I think the Q4 is the way to go. It doesn't really get loud till you're really getting on it. Just changed the sprocket to a 13 tooth. Wasn't bad. Obviously didn't have to shorten the chain. I'll show you with the adjustment how far back it is now. You see it's right between the green and the red here at about 550 miles on the odometer on this chain, and I mean that's great. I was expecting I don't know why, but I was expecting the axle to be way back here somewhere, and I wouldn't have been happy about that. But you know, theoretically that gets the seat up a little higher, but that also gives more leverage to this swing arm, so you know, it's not going to change the squishiness of the bike. And of course, I think like I said on the last video, I cranked that spring all the way down. So next is the airbox. Here's the top of the airbox. There's a little snorkel under the seat. And there's the cover taken off, factory filter. And I haven't looked it up yet, but I think all you do is you just drill a bunch of 1-inch holes in the cover, and you know, just for the heck of it, I'll just pop these little things in there. Not that they're really needed. I mean, you're upstream of the filter, so I'm sure some people put those little blue filter things in there. I don't care. I spend most of my time on the street. All right. Next video will be air filter mods completed. Alright, so this is what I ended up doing. 1-inch holes. Got these little breather things. Only put 4 in there. It came with 6. But I mean, that's going to be a heck of a lot more breathing, especially since I'm not putting the little blue filters in there. I really don't want to be pulling in any more dirt than I already am with this setup. As you can see, I wanted to keep the structural ability of this thing in place. So I don't see any other place to drill. I mean, you drill over here, you're getting too close to the element. It's not going to make any difference. You drill here, and you're interfering with that thing there. So I'm just going with 4. I know a lot of other people make nice symmetric 6-hole going crazy in here, but that's a lot of extra square inches of breathing. So I'm not really happy about it being right above the exhaust. So obviously when you're sitting still, you're going to be sucking in some hot freaking air. Really hot air in the summer. That's not good. But of course, once you're moving, it's not going to matter. Really would have liked to have put those holes on this side, but that would have been more work, and I'm just too lazy. I'm sure it is doable though. I mean, so somebody wants to put the effort into it, I would bet coming in on this side. Of course, then you're not only drilling through the air box, you're drilling through this structural piece here, but it won't hurt it. That's where the holes need to be drilled. And of course, then I guess it's hard for the air to even get in there in the first place. I don't know. I'm just not happy about pulling it in on the exhaust. And I think the whole point of this is to try to be pulling in air from somewhere other than under the seat, which seals, you know, pretty tight up against this plastic and this tank. I don't know though. I think with that with that length of gap, it's probably pulling in air just fine. But it's worth a try. A lot of people say it helps, so we'll give it a shot. I can't forget this. Here's the filter. Goes in like this. Here's that pre-screen or post-screen, or however you want to look at it. It's held on by these plastic rivets. Pliers, twist, it's off. And there it is. The screen thing, it's got two layers of like window screen overlapped with this metal thing. I don't think it's restricting the air that much, but I don't see the point in having it in there. Ounces add to pounds, and pounds add to pain for this bike. Actually, it was a little split on whether to put this thing back on there. I don't really see the point of it, except for maybe if you got some shoelaces blowing around, you don't want to get caught in there, which I always do. So I think that's why I put it back on. But those are more ounces that could lead to pounds. There's the front. I ran it a little bit last night, so let's get that color to it. I think it looks great. I'm not even going to put this heat shield back on here. I'm not worried about it. You can actually put the original heat shield back on. They give you the hardware to do it. I'm not going to worry about it. All right, next one you get to hear it run.